Hey guys, Zen here, and today we're going to jump in with more Rainbow Six Siege. Now, the big reveal of Operation Ember Rise has concluded, and well, there's a lot to say, so let's not waste any time and get into this. So, I wanted to start this video off with the most controversial news that has come out of Ember Rise, and that's recycled weapons here for the two new operators, Amaru and Goyo. Now, for those of you who don't know, both of these operators are bringing weapons that are already in the game, and neither are bringing any new weapons to the meta. Amaru has access to the G18 LMG, although now with an angled grip, the Supernova shotgun that's on Echo and Habana, the secondary shotgun from Mira, and the SMG-11. Goyo is coming with Mira's Vector and Kaid's TCSG shotgun. Again, none of these weapons are new, and outside of a new silencer on the Supernova and the G18 angled grip, these are all the same weapons that have been in the game. Now, before we get into the opinion side of things, let's talk about something official. So, a community developer over at Team Rainbow replied directly to a player who was looking for a comment on the loadouts, and this is what its epi had to say. We already have around 100 unique weapons in the game. There is a limit to how many weapons we can license / legally use in the game. It's also beneficial for players to have their skins available immediately upon unlocking an operator and not have to learn a new recoil pattern. So unfortunately guys, what this kind of reads out to me is that Siege, Ubisoft, there may be a limit to the amount of new weapons that can actually all be in the game, and here in year 4 it could be running thin. Now if we go back to Operation Phantom Sight, which was the first season ever to not feature any new weapons at all, but going back, a major part of the problem wasn't so much that the weapons were recycled. I mean, that was a focus, I don't want to water it down here, but a big issue were the actual weapons chosen, in the fact that they were pretty underwhelming as a whole. The MPX is a pretty niche SMG, you either love it or you really don't, and the FMG-9 was basically never used in the meta at the time. So all of this combined of not having new weapons and the reused ones being some of the worst in the game really just left a bad taste in a lot of players' mouths. On the opposite goalpost, I could imagine people being pretty excited if they decided to introduce a new attacker with an R4C, for example, as a primary weapon. Now, with Ember Rise, generally speaking, the weapon choice is much better than Phantom Sight, I'd have to admit. The Vector, at least from my perspective, is just one of the best weapons in the game, and Amaru having access to the SMG-11 definitely increases her fragging potential, so what's there is solid. But to be honest, it's the fact that this is the second season in a row where there aren't any new weapons to play around with that really burns here, and also it lessens the pot of new content added to the game, which the community takes notice of and adds a little extra fuel to the fire. Now, if you'd rather a grass is greener kind of approach, then look at it from a balance standpoint. If Ubisoft doesn't have to focus on creating a new weapon and meshing it into the meta, then they can pick and choose the guns already performing in the meta and better balance what's already there. Now, to be honest, I think the ball was dropped just a little bit somewhat with Phantom Sight, because I think it would have made much more sense to give Warden a P90, that way he'd still have a solid weapon and an ACOG. But with Ember Rise, I'd say it's gotten much better because these loadouts are much more exciting for me personally. Now, you also have to acknowledge the monstrous mound of content that's piled onto Siege, especially at the front end. Guys, this game is huge, and you probably know more about this game than you do literally most other things in life, and anytime anything new is added, every little thing needs to be taken into consideration. So for me personally, just to sum it all up here, new weapons probably should be added every new season of Siege. That's what's always been the case and what the entire community have come to expect. But if we've reached a legal limit to what can be added to the game, then I guess it's just an ugly nature of the beast. And I know that isn't the most super satisfying answer, but yeah, if we're still moving towards 100 operators, well, we're only halfway there, and I'm concerned about what future content drops look like throughout the years if in year 4 we're capping out here. Now, over 100 unique weapons is a lot, and definitely more than many other shooters out there, so it's tough. I don't want to say that there's already enough weapons and everyone should be totally satisfied, because that's simply not the case, and I think if given the choice, literally everyone involved, even the devs, most players would probably prefer new weapons. But what do you think? Are you disappointed with the lack of new weapons for the second time in year 4, or are you above the noise? Let us know down below. Next up, I wanted to talk about some game updates coming in Season 3. So, just in case you missed it, in my last video, we talked about the new operators and everything that's been detailed about them, but here, I wanted to talk about some of the other big updates that we learned. Starting off with some changes coming to Ranked. First off, guys, there's gonna be an additional rank added to the Ranked playlist, and it's the rank of Champion. champion. This rank will sit beyond Diamond and be the new highest rank available in Rainbow Six Siege. Now, once you reach 5,000 MMR, you'll be placed in the Champions rank, which then actually displays your numbered rank from 9,999 to 1. So basically, if you see a number 1 champion rank, this means that you're looking at the number 1 ranked player in the ranked playlist. It hasn't been confirmed if this is region-based or server-based, but if you do make it to champion in any region, you're one of only 10,000 players, possibly worldwide, with this kind of recognition. Now, I think it'd be interesting to integrate this champion rank with the Pro League and possibly set up a program where the top, say, 1,000 players in this rank are eligible to go pro, for instance. Other games have done this as well, and who knows, it could spring up a healthy gaming career for some of you guys out there. Now, of course, I like to set high goals, gentlemen, so I will always be aiming for champion, but Diamond is still no slouch, and reaching upwards of 5,000 ELO will never be a walk in the park. There's also going to be a new playlist, and I'm actually really excited about it. So Ubisoft is going to introduce the unranked playlist. This will essentially have the same rules and play out just like a match of ranked, but you won't have the pressure of maintaining your actual rank while you're in here. Now, I really like this because I think by now we all know that casual just isn't in any way like ranked, and for all intents and purposes, it really won't help you to get any better or really even learn how to play the game. This is part of the reason we got the newcomer playlist, because it's an area where it's much easier to learn and the rules are set up to actually help teach the basics. Ranked is the end game and the true Rainbow Six Siege experience, and this new unranked playlist will serve as that middle ground of not wanting to mess around in casual, but also not wanting to sweat into a moist towel in ranked. Now, this playlist will also feature pick and ban, which is a big change over casual, and so you really get to have that ranked experience without the ranked commitment, and I think it's a great tool for those of us who are serious about our rank. But honestly, I think the game is going to have a lot more success with this playlist than the newcomer playlist, because ranked players do want an arena to practice up and try new strats without dealing with what comes with casual. So overall, this is a great addition, and personally, I'm really looking forward to it. Now, moving on to a big update to Terrorist Hunt. So the devs go on to say, players have long used the player versus AI game modes as a warm-up, whether it's to practice your aim, to get yourself in the mindset for your next match, or simply to get used to the game's controls as a newcomer. Terrorist Hunt and situations remain available to you. Now, a few tweaks will essentially change them into something more reliable and simple. In order to make Terrorist Hunt more representative of multiplayer gameplay, a few things have been removed. Bombers will no longer appear, and both nitro cells and barbed wires will no longer fill entire rooms, though they'll still be found scattered throughout the maps. On the other hand, situations have been reordered from easiest to hardest, and their progression will no longer be locked, so you can play and complete them in any order you'd like. So T-Hunt has finally succumbed to the favor of the community. Now, it is basically a dedicated warm-up mode, and gone are some of the frustrations and, well, memes of this mode. So I'd still love to see T-Hunt completely overhauled, and hey, even if it goes down the warm-up mode direction, that's totally cool. The best change is removing the full rooms of C4 and barbed wire, because as someone trying to get warmed up, it's really just a useless aspect, and so I'm glad to see the change. Bombers did make things a little spicy at times, and definitely brought the pressure if you weren't expecting it, and was kind of my secret way of warming up flicks, right guys? So yeah, honestly, it's a small change that I think will go a long way for the community, and it's the first update ever to T-Hunt, I believe, so it's good to see Ubisoft looking into some upgrades. Finally guys, we have a long line of Mira's heritage with the Inspiration Elite set. Let's check this out. Mira's family has a long line of fighting for what they believe in. As an important member of Rainbow Six, she's continued that tradition. This new set of hers is an homage to her grandmother's service in hard times. She wears it with pride to honor her duty and that of those who came before her. Now, what I really like about Mira's Elite is that we've gone back to the old school vintage look to the Elites that we haven't seen in a very long time. That's where Elite uniforms all started. They were basically all based around soldiers of wars past or specialized operators and units from history, with Elites like IQ and Smoke, for instance, the design moved away from that, and I think a lot of people are really happy to see it return here with Mira in Season 3. But at the end of the day, like her or not, she's the first woman to bring a full-on cannon to the MVP screen in Rainbow Six Siege, and you've just gotta respect it. But okay guys, that's the video and everything I wanted to talk about. Now, I know there's a lot, but what about you? What are your feelings about new weapons being added to Rainbow Six Siege? And are you picking up the Mira Elite? Let us know everything in a comment down below. If you did enjoy this video, please drop a like and subscribe with notifications if you're new. With that being said, it's been Zen. I'm out.